And I have with me today, social distance, Jodi Haynes. Hello, Jodi.
Hello, hi.
When you last came to see us about 10 years ago, you were indeed, you came in to see us, you had a CD, simply called Jodi, with 3 tracks on. Obviously, you're not doing so much singing now. Are you still doing singing, or was that taking a bit of a back seat with you?
No, I haven't done any performing in quite a while. No, I was into the singing, and then I was teaching, and I moved to London. But then, as I was telling you guys, I got sick. I came down with a virus, and I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome in my mid-20s. And I'm now in my early 30s, just recovered, and I'm sharing my story to see if I can help anyone else.
Right. So you say you went to London and did some teaching. What were you actually teaching?
I was teaching aerobics, and I was a personal trainer. I was a studio coordinator, and yeah, I came down. I was hit with a virus, and I went down the Western medicine route, trying to heal and trying to find out further what was wrong. But it ended up being alternative therapy that sort of turned things around for me.
Right. I mean, obviously, with something like this, you can't be a personal trainer, can you? Obviously, it takes a lot of physical on your part to do this. And if you've got this chronic fatigue, how long ago since this affected you? How long ago was this now?
Yeah, so I came down with it when I was 24. It was a really long, slow process. It's quite a misunderstood illness in the Western world. But it really took me on a journey of the mind-body connection. It took me on a spiritual journey. And since recovering, I've created a program to help other people recover. Chronic fatigue is basically... it is what the name is. You're so tired that the sleep doesn't, you'll go to bed tired and you'll wake up still tired. But when I say tired, I mean you can barely get up and get dressed and get breakfast. Like that's a task in itself, and it can go on for years for some people. It's quite scary.
Yeah, so obviously, it's more than just feeling tired, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, being a personal trainer, I mean, when this first happened, I mean, what were your first initial thoughts of this, in yourself?
I was lost. I mean, I'd never heard of chronic fatigue before. Chronic fatigue syndrome can also be known as post-viral fatigue, ME, and also adrenal fatigue. And when I was first diagnosed with it, I had never heard of it before. So I almost didn't believe that that this was what it was. But many blood tests and tests later at the hospital, nothing was coming back except for Epstein-Barr virus and glandular fever. And viruses can leave you with chronic fatigue, and it can go on for years, as I say. But my journey wouldn't have taken as long if I'd have had the things that helped me from earlier on. It was the research and the time that was spent from myself and my parents helping me. When you get this, you are left alone because there is no help from the NHS. So it's yourself that has to do the research and find out. And it ended up being things like kinesiology, acupuncture, Reiki that helped me get better. I then turned to Buddhism and singing bowls, sound healing, crystals, things like that. They were all very healing. And I've learned things that I'll take away with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so why is it not so helpful with the NHS? Is it something that they've not really understand very much about at the moment? Is it pretty much one of those kind of things?
Yeah, they don't understand it, but I think they may start to understand it a little bit more now COVID is around, because people are being left with the fatigue from COVID, and the fatigue is very similar. They're getting fatigue because of a virus, and that's exactly what people have been dealing with for years and years and years. So I think they may start to understand it a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know whether it's just the time or the money they haven't had, or just they just truly don't understand why the energy system fails. I don't know why they don't know more, but they don't, and it's left up to us to deal with it, basically.
I mean, we can all feel a bit tired, can't we, from time to time? I mean, you get up out of bed and think, obviously didn't sleep too well last night, I feel a bit, on a bad day sort of thing. But obviously, as time goes on, and it goes on more and more, there's obviously more to it, as you say. So what led you to sort of experiment yourself then with crystals and the other things that you've done, the Buddhism and what have you? I mean, what sort of led you to that? Was it just self sort of research or talking to other people? What made you go down those routes?
Well, continually to wanting to get better, realizing that there is a mind-body connection, knowing that stress, anxiety, depression, anger, all these things can lead to any kind of illness, not just CFS. And, I realized that CFS and any other illness is, you have to go within. And when you start researching into other healing solutions, for example, if you're taking down the Reiki route, you start to learn about the aura and the chakras. It was a journey. You slowly learn about chakras, and then you learn, okay, well, what can heal chakras? Okay, sound healing frequencies can heal chakras, so can crystals. And chakras are energy points that run up and down the body, and if they're out of alignment, we can feel rubbish physically and mentally. So if you can try and heal yourself from within first, which starts from you, nothing else, no pills, no nothing but you. I was just taken on a few-year journey of just healing myself inside and out. And that's why I slowly came across all these things, all these amazing, beautiful things that I will take away with me for the rest of my life.
Like you say, I mean, obviously, pills and medicines probably do work on some things, but if you can go a more natural direction, which you've done, I think that's probably one of the best things you can do. And if it's a long journey, then obviously that journey is worth taking, and worth taking the time to get to where you finally want to be.
Yeah, definitely. And because of this journey that I've been on, I came across crystals, and then I started to make my own healing crystal bracelets, and I now sell those. And then obviously I created a program to help people recover from CFS. So it's taken my journey from the fitness industry to the healing industry, and I now also do sound healing for others as well, to help wellness and people with CFS as well.
Interesting one about the sound one. Explain about the sound one. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, everything is frequency. So you have certain frequencies that resonate with certain parts of the mind and body. Say if you've got a pain in your stomach, and it was created by a physical abuse and an emotional abuse. So say if you're intolerant to wheat, but you continue to eat wheat, then that's going to create an issue. And then say if you are angry or frustrated about, for example, a certain thing going on in your life, that can also affect an area that's suffering anyway. You have to have sort of two things that are affecting an area, mental and physical. And when you're out of alignment, your frequencies can lower. So we all resonate at a certain frequency. So if you're sad or lonely or depressed or something, you're resonating naturally at a lower frequency. So if you play higher frequencies, so you've got 555, you've got 999, you've got all sorts of frequencies, 582, 432, and you play those frequencies, and when those frequencies are the highest possible frequencies that a human can resonate at, and you can attract health into your life when these frequencies are played, you can attract abundance, all sorts of wonderful things can come into your life when these frequencies are played. So when they're played, they align your system, they align your chakras, and we feel better from them, mentally and physically.
The only frequency I know is one called 450 hertz, which any radio engineer will understand.
Okay.
That is like a test that we use quite a lot here.
Okay.
So that's the only one I'm aware of, yeah.
It's an interesting one to get into. And I bought some crystal singing bowls, and each bowl resonates with a certain chakra. So when those bowls are played with your rubber mallets, they're just amazingly soothing. And you play these frequencies. There's thousands and thousands on YouTube, and you can search any type of frequency on YouTube for certain things that you're suffering from within the body. Say if you've got headaches, you can type in frequency music for headaches, and it will come up with all these wonderful frequencies, and it's really soothing and healing.
I mean, the frequency thing, I mean, I've seen a film which I still got on video, actually. It's the Tina Turner story, because she turned to Buddhism, didn't she? If you know the story of Tina Turner, the stress she went through with Ike and everything, and if you ever watched the film, she actually turned to Buddhism. And before she does the Buddhism chants and sort of does the meditation thing, she actually taps this vase 3 times like a ring. So there's a connection from the tones to Buddhism. That's an interesting point.
Yeah. Buddhism are massively into sound healing and chakras. You say, how did you turn to this? How did you turn to that? You research one thing, and you naturally come across this whole journey. If you research things to do with the NHS, you're only going to come up with that sort of thing. But then when you research Buddhism, sound healing, crystals, they all come together.
So what do the crystals do? Tell a bit about the crystals. I haven't seen much with crystals, but I've heard of them. So how do they help you, the crystals?
Yes. So crystals go back thousands and millions of years ago. They're found deep down in the earth. And again, each crystal can resonate with a certain chakra. So these chakras are energy points that run up and down the body, and they resonate with certain parts of us. So these chakras are all different colours, and often the crystals can match the chakra colour as well. So if you're not feeling very grounded, say if you're not feeling very safe in your environment, you can get certain crystals to help resonate with, for example, the root chakra, which is to do with safety in your environment. You need to balance your root chakra, and not only can sound healing balance your root chakra, crystals can balance your root chakra. So I like to use the black tourmaline or the red jasper, also the agate crystal for your root chakra. That can really help you feel safe and grounded. But then say if you're grieving, that can really affect your heart chakra. So you would then, for example, look towards the rose quartz crystal to help your heart chakra, or the green peridot. I found massive healing with crystals. They're stunning. You place them in the sunlight, and the energy that comes off them is beautiful. You can also re-energize them in salt water or the full moon, and you place them near you. That's why I started making bracelets, because I love wearing these crystals, and it's a beautiful thing to get into.
And they often say that the human body is a delicately tuned instrument anyway.
Yes,
so if it's all slightly off and adrift with itself, you've got to, like you've done, you've got to sort of get yourself basically back in tune with everything.
In line,
balanced. Yeah. Sounds like you've got a very interesting journey. To find all this out, it must have been sort of interesting at the same time. It's been quite a long journey by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It has been a long journey. It's been an interesting journey. It's a shame it came about through such chronic fatigue, but I've come out better on the other end. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah, so that you've discovered all this. It must have been quite fascinating along the way as well at times.
Yeah.
It's funny what we can find out about when we kind of focus and put our minds to it and discover, and it really is good. Yeah
100%. And I've sort of learned all about the universe and sort of guardian angels, spirit guides, and that we are guided, we're never alone, and to trust the universe, to trust the signs. And that's just stuff that I never knew about before, and it's just a really sort of heartwarming thing to be into.
Sounds like in a way it's opened up a whole new world for you.
It so has, Patrick. Yes.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah. Just a quick question for you now, Jodi. How are you doing now? Are you sort of 100% there, or what stage are you at now?
Well, I will never push myself as hard as I did before. No matter how well I ever am again, I will never push myself as much as I did. My hours in London were very long. Some days I was getting up at 6 a.m. and not getting back till 11 p.m. and all I'd done is run around London, socialise, teach classes. So yes, as much as I am so much better now, I don't think I'll ever get chronic fatigue again. I know the warnings, I know the signs, and I do work from home now. It's such a calm way to live, is working from home. I play my sound healing all day. I'm now living away from my parents. I'm independent. I can cook, clean, wash, iron, do my food shopping, which was, I could barely make it to get a snack. I couldn't even cook. I couldn't actually even wash. My mum had to wash my hair in the bath for me. I was absolutely dreadful for a few years, and now I can really live a very happy, balanced life now. So I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, the thing about all this, I often ask people, because we've had life coaches in before now and things like people like that, and whatever, and I often say to them, well, I can say that in life I am right where I want to be, and it sounds like you are also now right where you want to be.
That is so lovely to hear that you are. That's so wonderful.
Yeah, and there's something said for working for yourself and doing it from home.
Yes.
There's only one thing about working from home, though, Jodi, and that is if your day does go wrong, you've only got yourself to blame. So out of all this, then, a business venture's also come through this, hasn't it, by the sounds of things as well?
Yeah, I've definitely gone from, as I say, the fitness industry to the healing industry I look back and I'm so incredibly happy of what I've achieved before CFS with my travels and my singing and the aerobics in London. But yeah, I mean, what a fantastic profession to be in is the healing industry. So yeah, I got into my crystals, and then one day I made a crystal bracelet. My friend came to me with a piece of jewelry that had broken, and I fixed it and thought, it was a little idea here, just sort of popped into my head. Maybe I could make jewelry from home. So I bought everything I needed and set up an account. I sell bracelets on Etsy and eBay. And then literally mid to the end of last year, created a program to help people recover from CFS. I thought to myself, I have a lot of knowledge built up inside of me over the last few years of what I've been through. And I've just basically created a program to help people get on track with their diet, because diet is a huge thing. I tried so many different diets, and at the end of it, I did generally find that a general healthy balanced diet is truly the way to go, because so many of these diets are so extreme and they can't last forever. It's just about general well-being as well. I do specifically talk about CFS symptoms and what can help CFS mentally and physically, and then we talk a little bit about symptom management, and I talk specifically how you can help specific symptoms as well, not just your energy system. And then we end the program by slowly starting to incorporate a little bit of progressive exercise, which is generally what the NHS tend to dive right into is progressive exercise, when it's truly the last thing you could possibly imagine doing is exercising when you feel the way you do. You have to heal the body before you can start exercising. So it's a journey that if I'd have been given this information at the beginning of my illness, it wouldn't have taken as long to recover. Yeah, so I've enjoyed putting the program together, and there's no other feeling than someone messaging you and saying your program has changed my life. It's amazing.
Like you say, a balanced diet is certainly everything. That you've got to have a certain amount of iron in your diet, and you 5 a day and whatever. And without those, if the body's lacking, sometimes it can cause problems. But I mean, some people, not everybody, but some people would have just probably curled up and said, well, okay, whatever, that's it. But you've turned the whole thing around. Probably other people have done as well, no doubt. Out of something like this, you think, hang on a minute, I've got all this knowledge now, I can help others.
Yeah, Isn't that wonderful? That's the best.
Yeah. When people say, I've talked to other people on the programme over the years, and if they come and talking with something like this, I say, well, how did you get involved in this? And they say, well, I was there, I've been there, I've been through it. And to me, to have someone like you who, okay, you've been through a lot, but you've got the first-hand knowledge to pass on to others. You haven't gone into a classroom to learn it and learn from a textbook, have you? I mean, no disrespect to anybody who does. I mean, there are obviously a lot of professions where you can't do anything other than do that. But when you've been first-hand and then to me, what better, sort of guidance can you have?
Yeah, beautiful.
So your program then, I mean, what's the program available in? Is it in a book form? Is it a download form? Is it available in what format is your program actually in for somebody to take up?
Okay, so it's a website that you would go to. You can look through the website with all the information on there, and then it's on the website where you would literally buy it. So you would click, buy now and purchase it, and the program is on the website. So once you purchase it, you then have access to the program, and you can make your way through it. There's an audio version, so it's all written. But there is an audio version throughout, because people with CFS can really struggle to look at computer screens and their phone screens. So there's an audio version without. And if you wanted to read it straight through from start to finish, it would take you a couple of hours. But if you actually just took chapter by chapter, it could take you a few months to get through, which is nothing with CFS, because I really take you on a journey. At the end of each chapter, I say, okay, try these things, try what works for you, what calls to you, and then in a few weeks or a month or so, pick up back this program and we'll start with the next chapter. Each chapter is almost you have to go away and take upon yourself to start your diet, start your small daily routine habits, etc.
And again, you mentioned diet, of course. That's part of the balancing the body as well, as you say. It's all linked together, isn't it? The whole thing, when you look at
CFS, any illness, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. If you can truly connect with your soul and truly become aligned with your truth, you will find that this illness was here to help you. And I can speak for all illnesses. if you really think back to the day you got sick, were you the happiest you had ever been? Were you completely at peace and content? Was there any niggle inside of you that was making you feel slightly unhappy? You know, I had anxiety before I got ill. I had to keep myself busy to stop myself from thinking about what was making me anxious. You know, I got to the bottom of what was going on there, and my health turned around from the day I did, you know. If you do just take a pill to cover up the symptoms, for example, you're not really learning anything. You just carry on the way you are. And if you have the opportunity to make your life better, you know, take it, research.
So it sounds like an incredible journey, and I'm really pleased that you've come through this and you've taken the opportunity to turn the whole thing around, which is even better. And you've now got yourself a nice little business. You're helping others. You've been there. You've done it. A long journey, probably not easy at times, but you've come through this. And now you can help others, and that's great. It's fantastic what you're doing, you know. So
thank you.
Where can people find you? And you have to give us the website details and tell us a bit more about how people can find you and contact you.
Okay, so if you're interested in buying some crystal bracelets or just researching about the crystals and how they could help you in general, you can find me on Etsy at Jodi's Crystals. Same for eBay, Jodi's Crystals. You can find me on Instagram, which is Jodi's Crystals, and you can find the link through there. And if you're interested in my CFS Healing Program, if you are suffering from CFS or ME, or if you know someone who is suffering from CFS, ME, post-viral fatigue, adrenal fatigue, even Lyme disease and fibromyalgia can go down that route as well, then my website is cfshealingprogram.com.
Right, fantastic. Well, thank you.
And also my Instagram is CFS Healing as well, if you're on Instagram, and you can find the link through my Instagram, CFS Healing.
Good. Well, thank you for talking to 103 The Eye today.